do this on your own. First you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream, you gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it.
Where it will take us, Lynn, you can't even imagine. The things we'll be able to do. Where we'll be a year from now. The kind of life that we'll finally be able to live.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, I know we haven't streamed here in it's been a little bit of a while, guys, just because obviously it's been a great holiday season. But I'm still really excited here just because today we're going to talk a lot about not just, I would say, trading. We're going to talk about just kind of the entire economic state of where we're at. Okay. Also, I'm going to mention here just a little bit of details when it comes to, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas too, by the way. But I'm going to mention some details here when it comes to, obviously, okay, the $200 to $500 challenge here. Okay, this challenge here has been absolutely insane. You've been seeing a bunch of people get started with it. So essentially what we're going to do is we have a private flip chat. So if you do want to participate, obviously just book a call or to whoever invited you to the group, and then we're going to add you into the flip challenge group. So that way we can help you start. We're going to start the flip challenge on January 5th. Okay, just so I can give you guys some important dates. It's going to start on the 5th of January. Okay, and it's going to be a 30 to 60 day challenge. Right now, the challenge is going to be us, or I would say primarily everybody, to try to take 500 bucks, okay, or 250 bucks, I'm sorry. 250 bucks to $5,000, okay? So $250 to 5,000 bucks, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys step by step my plan and how to kind of flip it in order to make that, okay, possible. Now, guys, I've done some flipping challenges in the past. Okay, I've never done it publicly, so this is gonna be my first time doing it in front of everybody. I've taken 100 bucks to $2,000, $3,000. I've taken 10K to 50K, but I've never taken, okay, in front of everybody, 250 bucks to $5,000. So this is going to be very interesting, and we're obviously going to do it right. We're going to do it with all the signals being called out correctly, okay, and just make sure everybody is on the right pace. Now, a lot of this is going to be built on what? This is going to be primarily, okay, 100% going to be a risk management, high risk reward type of setup here. We need high risk reward setups in order for this to be possible. Without that and the right risk management strategy, it's going to be close to, I wouldn't say impossible, it's just going to be very difficult for you to do this by yourself. So again, if you're not in the challenge yet or in the flip chat, make sure you're in the flip chat, because I'm going to drop some knowledge. I'm going to drop some insights here on how we're going to do this together. Okay, and then we're gonna go from there. Okay, so if you do want access to that, all you gotta do is join the Discord. The Discord is gonna be on below in my YouTube, and then after that, just comment flip, and then we'll get you there. Okay, so the first thing now, let's talk a little bit about what's happening on the entire world. Okay, if we look at the dates, guys, today was Monday. You know, there's nothing really crazy happening. Obviously, the books are being closed. The new year is on its way. 2026, okay, is coming. Now, obviously, everybody's talking about gold's sharp decline today, which is great. You know, I told everybody here that specifically, I am not trading all the way up until, you know, possibly the end of the year and then in January, but I'm going to look for good setups. So, guys, my Christmas this last week has been filled with family. It's been filled with drinking. It's been filled with just reflection. So I haven't been trading, right? I haven't been really trading. I've been, obviously, some of my trades, stop profits hit. It's fine. It's great. But obviously, now tomorrow we do have FOMC meetings in minutes, which is going to be big. Okay, we're not going to have a rate cut. Most likely, they're going to give us a good expectation of what's going to happen next year. So this is going to be the last FOMC before next year, which is very, very important. The reason it's very important is because we want to get an idea of what's going to happen in 2026. The only way we're going to have a good idea of what happens is all based off of what? All based off of our CME, okay, and the probabilities of what we're going to, our next probable rate cut, right? So there's 100% probability right now that we're not going to have a rate cut, okay, at least for before 2026. But this is the last FOMC meeting, and it should give us some hints about what's going to happen, okay, in 2026, right? So that's what I'm really looking for, is any insight. Could we get a rate cut potentially in January? Could we get a rate cut potentially in March? Is there a hint that this whole thing can change by tomorrow? Okay, and again, this is going to be the last year that we're projected to have rate cuts. This is very important because by the end of 2026, we're probably going to start hiking rates. And if we start hiking rates into 2027, going into 2028, this is when we're going to have some sort of pause and recessionary period, which is because we're probably going to struggle with inflation here. Okay, so let's go back now. Let's look at what's happening specifically. Okay, FOMC meeting in minutes, that's what's going to be happening. And then also Wednesday, the 31st, let's look at this here. Why you need to watch. I just want to see if there's any news that Forex Factory is potentially predicting here. Okay, let's get back to business here. Bank holiday is obviously on the 30th. And then, you know, we don't really have anything crazy happening. December 31st, we have a bunch of bank holidays and unemployment claims do come out, which are a little bit higher than expected. That will make markets fall. But the 31st, guys, most likely we're going to be in a bank holiday on January 1st. So this week's going to be very slow. We're going to have some movement, but it's not going to be anything crazy. Just like last year and the year before that, in the last 5-10 years, I always say usually January even 1st, nothing happens. Then you have Friday. It's usually going to be the 5th. This is when the setups are going to start coming. Okay, this is when banks start to deploy capital for the year, for P&Ls. So they start to deploy capital January, the first and second week of January is when, okay, you know, capital starts to get deployed. So the first and second week, that's what we need to keep in mind, okay? Now let's get back over here. Let's take a look at kind of my predictions of 2026, what I expect kind of happening right now, etc. So let's kind of look at what's happening with Dixie. Oh my God, what's going on? Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so we consistently stay on this downtrend here with Dixie. All of 2026, I see us having a retracement and then eventually falling as we get closer to what? As we get closer to March and a rate cut potentially in March. Okay, I do see the first, I would say even, let's look at the whole year coming in span. DXY, seasonality, let's look at that. I really do want to look at that. I think it's huge because it'll at least give me a better idea of what, you have a lot of back and forth action. Then Dixie starts to rise here in February, March. Comes down, hits all-time lows in April, and then you have a run here. You got some okay movement in January usually. One thing that I do want to see, and this is pretty common with at least even SPX as well, right, is let's look at SPX seasonality, and we can look at options later. Right now, I don't want to look at SPX options here. I just feel like it's not important right now. But let's look at equity clock here and bar. We'll look at bar chart for S&P. Okay, at SPX. Give me a second here.
be great. I want to be one of the greats.
January on average is very bullish. Yeah, because everybody puts their orders in, unless we're in a declining market. Usually you're not going to see that here. I expect Dixie to kind of consolidate and then fall here in February and March, either here or here. So I expect SPX to be bullish here. I do. Let's look at kind of just some of our setups here. I want to look at the daily. Wow, you see that? 17th, kind of run and rally. What we're looking for right now, this right here is profit taking. Okay, this right here is profit taking. So what I want to look for is a fill of this gap, this specific gap here. I want to see a fill. More importantly though, I want to look at indecisional areas in between. Buying and selling pressure going on external structure, right? You see that? You have price discrepancy right here, which needs to be filled by institutional flow, right? So what I'm looking for right now is a lot of this has to be filled, specifically this area here. This area here, you have multi-time frame institutional buying and selling pressure here. So what that means is we need to definitely fill those areas, okay? Even here, right? This area here needs to get filled. This specific zone needs to get filled. What I expect, and this happened in 2023 on the like a very bullish year, and even 2021, we'll probably have a pullback just because you do have like 3-hour structure. Let's see, 4-hour structure is broken. Yeah, you know, so we're for sure coming down. Okay, now how far down is the question, because the reality is we've broken structure already here on the 4-hour. Okay, this is a BOS, right? We have a BOS right here. What I'm looking for now is obviously a retracement to come to this zone for another fall, right? Now, I'm looking for that shift in momentum to the upside for SPX going into January. I do believe price is going to come back and fill price discrepancy here. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a flash crash. Quick flash crash, then run to the upside. Swipe a liquidity just like we saw with gold and silver earlier this week, and then a run to the upside. Okay, so I'm expecting the same thing here, right? A run, you're seeing wave one kind of take its play. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, flash crash, and then a run to the upside. So potentially I'm going to look for buys. Most likely I want to look for buys there, and I want to look for buys here. Okay, I then want to look for what? Fib extension levels here of 1.27 and a fib extension level here of that fill of that gap of what? Just below that fib extension, price confluence of 1.27. Right, my bad, right here. 1.14. TP area, what I'm looking for is here. Okay? Both those areas to target as we go for what? 2026. These are the areas that I'm looking for. Which even, I want to be a bigger pullback. The bigger the pullback, the more we're going to make long-term, guys. So I would love if SPX comes down here, even down here. I mean, we're looking at, guys, a 18,000 pip move here. That's 18 grand straight to your pocket if we do this correctly. right? So what I'm looking for again is that second wave, break of structure here, a swipe of liquidity fill, and then a run to the upside. That's what I would love to see. That right there, I would buy here and probably hold till next year. Or till May, June. I believe we're gonna have a huge crash once rates pause. Rate cuts pause. We're gonna have a huge crash. And even if we can see this at the SPY, which is futures, right? And we can look at even futures here. Like, we have gaps that we have to fill that I've been calling now for a very long time. And I believe that these gaps need to be filled soon with SPY and everything. This is the easiest, I would say, setup that we've been getting, right? That we need to fill this gap, this price discrepancy on SPY and SPX. Once we fill this gap here, I am gonna go into buys, at least from my perspective. And what you also have too is what? Multi-time frame confluence or multi-pair confluence with NAS 100 also needing to fill a gap here. NQ needing to fill a gap as well, okay? So a lot of it, and even Russell, let's see if Russell has a gap. Russell doesn't have a gap at all. But with Russell, it does look like Russell's on this downtrend, at least temporarily. Let's look at the VIX here. The VIX filled its gap. There's still areas that it does need to fill though, and that is kind of the areas that I'm more focused on. Damn, the VIX being at this all-time low is scary, because there has to be a pull retracement to the upside. What goes down must come up, what goes up must come down. So the VIX is at December 2024 areas. And look at what happened to the VIX in December 2024. Look at what happened to the VIX in December of 2023. Runs to the upside, right? Let's look at gold volatility here. Okay, so gold volatility. Remember we spoke about this. This fill-in gap needed to get filled. This gap here needs to get filled. What does that mean? Gold volatility is going to continue, but I believe gold is still bullish. Gold volatility shows us gold is still bullish. So I am bullish all of 2023 with gold. I mean 2026 with gold. 100%. There's nothing that's going to stop me buying gold. As we continue here with bonds and yields, the yield market is going down, bonds are going up. Obviously, safety is a priority right now, and the books are being cleared. My next priority is to check gold. Let's look at my baby gold right here. Okay. So, I was waiting for a long time for gold to finally get to this zone. And when did this happen? This happened, what, on Christmas? Well, I wasn't trading on Christmas, I was out. So, I'm actually really excited. This is a really good setup now, because we have a pullback that we haven't been able to get for a very long time. And a lot of retails probably got swiped out because they're just trading at the wrong time, which is good for us, right? Very, very good for us. What can that tell me right now? Let's get rid of some of these trade setups that I've set up, right? Some of the buys that we've called and all that right now. What I want to see is, where do I see gold going next, right? Because we predicted gold to go to what? 45.53, remember? You guys can go back to the recordings and you can remember where I predicted gold back here in October of 2025. October 29th, I said, guys, we're going to go to 45.53.7. That's the first take profit area. Then a big pullback's going to happen. Then we're going to go to 46.92, and then a big profit taking area is going to happen. Then 49, we're going to probably get in 2027. You guys can go back to my recordings and see that. Okay, great recordings. Okay, what am I looking for next? How did I predict that? Well, it's because I'm elite. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 5-10 years. You don't make, okay, 6 figures by accident, multiple 6 figures by accident. I'm kidding, guys. I'm trying to be humble. I'm playing around. Give me a second, guys. So what I'm looking for, guys, is specifically this here. We've got breaks of structure here on decisional candles, both on the daily level and both on internal structure areas here. Okay, 4 hour as well. We do have a small break, but we haven't broken this low yet, which is important. This specific external structure area has yet to be broken. Very important for us. Second, 4 hour to me is the most important. As long as we hold the 4 hour impulse, we're fine, we're solid. We break this 4 hour impulse, gold's gonna go lower. So I'm actually looking for some buys on gold. I'm not looking for any sells. You know, I think it was a couple days ago, when was it, that I saw gold drop tremendously. I think it was down here. And I said, guys, I wish I got into gold earlier. I mean, man, this thing looks like it just dropped like an insane amount. I think that was Sunday. I wish I got into a buy here because it respected structure so well, and then boom, crashed. So what I'm looking for now is we've had both an internal liquidity sweep of liquidity from obviously trends right here. You see that internal swipe of liquidity? Trend traders just got swiped out. But now we have this external swipe of liquidity is what I'm looking for on the 4 hour. And that you see right here. You see that? That's an external swipe of liquidity. So we have confirmation now of an internal swipe of liquidity and an external swipe of liquidity. Now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for buys, okay? This thing looks like a schematic. It looks like it's going to start to break to the upside here. I just am waiting patiently until I see some type of break of structure, at least here. Once I get that break of structure, then I want to look for a pullback and then a run to the upside. Most likely, I mean, I'm going to be trading tomorrow morning, guys. So I'm going to see if I see anything tomorrow. If I do, I mean, that might be our opportunity to get into some buys here. Okay, but I don't want to catch a falling knife. I don't want to catch something that I know for a fact could fall, because this thing could very easily come here, okay, be an order flow, and then fall one more time to swipe any more external buyers, and then we have a complete shift in momentum here. And you don't want to get caught up in something like that, because that can happen very quickly. But I do see a pullback here coming, so I'm looking for buys for gold, 100%. Gold futures as well. Let's look at gold futures because it gives us a little bit of idea of the future, right? I was supposed to be a joke, guys. I know I'm not funny and stuff, but hey, sometimes Sometimes I make some people laugh. Okay, with gold futures, we have a lot of swipe of external structure. A lot. And I do believe we're going to get more of that swipe of external structure. As long as we hold here, this right here is the pullback. As long as we hold. If we have a close below, then guys, I expect us to come here and then elevate. Okay? Just so you guys are aware. Let's look at GU here. GU here is just kind of chilling. It's not doing anything. Hit our TP zone and then just relaxed. What am I looking for next with GU? I'm looking for buys. GU is an order flow, clearly. I'm looking for buys with GU. USD CAD, sell off. What else am I looking for? Looks like it's retracing here. We'll look at more USD CAD a bit later. I do see it falling off a bit. AUD USD looks bullish as hell. I want to look for buys on that. Let's look at Bitcoin here. Crypto looks like it's going to go to... Crypto right now is breaking structure on the 2-day. 10% and then also another 20. I'm looking at crypto to go down 10 to 20% in total. Even the crypto market cap, the others market looks terrible. It does not look good at all. It's breaking structure. The crypto, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, look okay. Bitcoin dominance looks like it's gonna run. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Right now, it looks like it's selling off perfectly. Still waiting for 76 to come and hit. When SPX drops, you're going to see 76 hit. Most likely, you'll see 60 hit. If we do get a 20% drop from at least total cryptocurrency market cap, we might get a flash crash here. And I think we'll hit this zone. It'll be a flash crash. And we'll get 70, 67. We'll get that. From there, I do believe that we could rally. I'm a big believer, and another thing is too, this area here is an indecisional area. But if we break and close below this zone here, this is the last zone for crypto. We're technically in 100% a bear market, and crypto's going to run, but it's not going to come back to where it was. Let's look at MSRT real quick. MSRT is going to go to 122 most likely. I've been calling this for a long time. Nvidia, bullish still, has to pull back, fill in the gap. Meta, I'm bullish still on Meta. Coinbase, bearish on Coinbase. I've been calling sells on Coinbase since here. Wow. But other than that, guys, this is just a quick breakdown really of what we're looking for. I'm super excited for this new year. Okay, we have some really good setups, and I'm thinking that this year is going to be an incredible year. I can't wait to start this, challenge. And stay connected with us, obviously. And let's have a great trading week. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Talk to y'all soon.